Ego death is an expansion of the consciousness. Ego death is something everybody goes through at some point where they break free from an illusion of self. Sometimes people develop a very inflated ego, often because their parents are egotistical or because people around them are overly bearing. This doesn't make a person a monster or weaker than others. The ego deflating is actually a result of being mistreated by people and not being in the right place at the right time. Basically, when we have this ego death experience, we're being put back on the right track. We're being put back on a timeline that we are supposed to be on. This realization can happen suddenly or over a period of time. Drugs can also induce a feeling of depersonalization and psychosis, often leading to a person becoming dysfunctional or even suicidal. This is all temporary, as ego death is just a reset by the universe. When we go through the process of ego death, we are actually getting more in touch with ourselves. Before I started my spiritual journey, I was hyper-focused on making a good impression on people around me, on people I idolized. I broke free from my ego self by realizing that nobody should come before myself. In actuality, we are all people on a journey towards self-enlightenment. The basis of life is love, beginning with self-love. The more we love ourselves, the more the world becomes a better place. Everyone wants to feel loved, but not everyone has learned to love themselves first. Love from others will never be fulfilling until we learn to love ourselves. People use drugs as a tool to feel more powerful. We are all powerful beings that hold purpose in the grand scheme of this world. So ego death is not something to fear or worry over because there's nothing we can control other than our own body and mind. What we experience is what God, universe, intended for us to experience. There is something good in everything, and it's just important to keep loving yourself and being accepting of God, universe's plan for us. Ultimately, ego death is kind of like a rebirth where we break free from an egg. The egg symbolizes life as we know it, and as we hatch, our consciousness is expanding into something greater than us. You're not meant to feel lonely, the universe is always watching over you. To break free from the ego is to break free from a life that we were not meant to be living in. It is breaking free from the reality that we are just slaves to the matriarchal society. When we are confident is when we are being our best and most authentic selves. There is no point in dwelling on who we were before our ego dissolved. Nothing that happens to us in life is meant to destroy us. It is meant to help us ascend towards our destiny. What might seem like a horrific experience or turmoil is actually a transition from old to new. That's why getting out of a toxic relationship cycle is never easy. A lot of us get stuck in a karmic cycle, and then when we meet our soulmate, it seems too good to be true. We become attached to who we thought we were in someone else's eyes, but really we are more valuable than we think.